Good morning. How are you today? In the 60s again with a breeze, so not bad. Uh, it's very interesting to contrast the difficulties in government in two places, to compare what's going on with Cuomo in New York and Trump. Now, in Trump's case, we have two big events. One is that he leaned on the Attorney General, Jeff Rosen, to tell the world that there was corruption in the election when it wasn't true. And they didn't do it, nor did they tell us about it. But also, they drafted a letter by this guy Clark to go to the Georgia legislature to tell them, hey, you've got problems in your election. And this is coordinated with Trump's demand and his interference to actually change the numbers of the election so that he would win the Georgia election by one vote. And again, this letter only comes out now. Why didn't we know about it when it happened? It's important information for the Republic, frankly. Now, I think this combination of things goes to the intent that leads to the insurrection on January the 6th. But cowards out there, moral cowards, won't call it as they see it. But they'll jump to the front of the line to complain about sex, when Trump also leads the field in sexual misadventures and errors of judgment and outright crimes and violations. So if America doesn't get itself straight and start going after the bad guys, the law becomes meaningless. And I don't know why Garland hasn't convened a grand jury to look into this stuff. We got a grand jury looking at the rioters. Fine. What about the ones who brought them here? Trump and his cronies and the people on the Hill and the Republicans that are mentioned who would help him sell the lie that there had been corruption in the election. Now, back in New York, they say that Cuomo's lost the ability to govern. Well, I don't know about that. And the pylon is concerning, I think. And so is the conduct. What is it about politicians that they can't act like regular people? You have to keep in mind that it's a big prize to see who would be governor. Everybody in the state will move up a position if Cuomo leaves the office. Now, we had good news that the evictions were going to be stalled, but it turns out some of them have already started, and there's more fear legally that the court will say it's unlawful to go forward. And the really annoying thing is that the Supreme Court, said that if Congress passed a law, that would take care of it. But we don't do that. And keep in mind that we knew for some time, because the president said it, that the end of July was the deadline for the moratorium on evictions. And we wait until really after the last day possible. How is that going to not mess up? And it did, and it has. And we'll be watching in the days and weeks ahead how badly. And when I say it's messed up, it means the instant that the moratorium was over, landlords, understandably, got eviction notices. And so those things are already in the courts. So some states may offer their own remedies to ease the pain of this, but there are people already evicted. That's the way that is. Returning to an old favorite, apparently a judge in Colorado has filed sanctions against two lawyers. They relied on Trump's tweets to tell the court that there was corruption in the election, and the judge said that wasn't enough and the other evidence didn't hold up. So they're being punished for that. That's not bad. I'm trying to think of one thing that I enjoy. I enjoy seeing Vindman taking somewhat like victory laps. He's published a book about what happened to him involving the Ukraine and how Trump couldn't stand the truth, to borrow from a Jack Nicholson famous line in A Few Good Men. And you have to also, though, shudder at the thought that these people, these whistleblowers who came forward, they really haven't been repaired. They haven't been taken care of. So it's the same thing. There's not an accounting for the good. There's not an accounting for the bad. We have plenty of time for rioters and sex crimes, but not enough to save the republic. That's my summary. Some may think it's unfair. I think it understates the problem. So get out. It's a beautiful day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.